Gentlemen, getting the wrong advice from the wrong people is killing your dating life. It's killing how you deal with women. It is not helping you with successful relationships, dating, going out, hooking up, whatever you want to say. Where are you getting your advice and guidance on women and dating from? Where should you be getting it from? I'll give you a hint. It shouldn't be your single, lonely friends and family. Let's get into it next.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Gentlemen, I'm MarcusVanHorne, and I'm on a mission to help men like you build and refine their skills needed for dating and finding success with women. So if that's you and you're interested in that and that's going to help you out a little bit, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I put up new content and you don't miss it. Let's get into this. So let's talk about where you're getting your advice from. You're out there, you're single, you're trying to figure it out. You got it, figured out enough for yourself, but you do take guidance, you do take a little advice from people, and people always, there's never a short of guidance coming from people. People always weigh in with their opinions and people have things to say. So where do you get that advice from? Now, more than likely, I'm talking to the fellas, talking to you, you've got friends, you got a group of people you hang out with, your boys, right? Is that where you're getting your actual guidance from? It would seem to make sense that those are the people you hang out with. Those are the people you might be going out to clubs with, going out to social events with. So, and if they're all single, that's probably where you're having those conversations. Now, if you're getting advice from that one single friend who can't keep a relationship for the past 2 months, is that a good thing? I don't think so. Or maybe you're getting it from your coworker who brags about women, but pretty much spends Friday nights home alone. Here's the truth. Who you get advice from matters a lot, because the wrong advice doesn't just waste your time. It can destroy your confidence, sabotage your dating life. And today we're going to break this down. We're going to talk about where men usually get their advice, why some advice is flat out dangerous, and how to find qualified people who can actually help you succeed with women. You're in the right place already. So let's just start there. Okay, where do men usually get advice? Most guys start by listening to friends, usually single and struggling themselves. I kid you not. There's people who haven't kept a real relationship, haven't done anything really substantial when it comes to women, were never really good at dealing with women, and for some reason they're rendering opinions and giving advice, which makes no sense to me, right? Then you've got family. Well-meaning, your family's always well-meaning, mama's always well-meaning, your brothers and sisters might be well-meaning, but a lot of their advice sometimes, depending on how old they are, is outdated or it's very biased because they're looking at you from one perspective. They love you, they want you to succeed, and they only see your good things, and maybe they're not giving you the full information on what you should be doing out there. The other place people get information from and guidance is social media, podcasts, YouTube channels, right? Such as this one, possibly, right? And that's a mixed bag of takes, right? Because you're getting a lot of fake bravado, zero accountability. People just out there, they're espousing all their wisdom and saying what they say. And it's like, all right, you tuned into it, you listen to it. And quite frankly, as I've mentioned on other episodes before, there's just so much anger and hostility and bias on one side to the other. A lot of the guys that are giving advice can't stand women themselves, and they're basically outlining the details on how bad women are and how you should avoid certain things. They're not really giving you strategies as a man to make you better at getting with women, if that makes any sense, okay? Now, according to a 2023 Pew study, 52% of you admit that you rely on friends and online content for dating. Yet 72% of those men say they're still unhappy with their results. Now, why? Because pretty much advice without proven success is just an opinion. So let's talk about why bad advice can hurt you. If you listen to people who aren't qualified, right, just people rendering opinions, you'll waste time on strategies that don't work. And clearly they don't work because they're not working for the person giving you their opinion. You risk lowering your standards or losing your confidence. Pretty much because now you're taking someone's advice who they clearly hasn't worked, so you're lowering your standards there. And then you're also going to lose your confidence because the guidance and the advice they're giving you is simply not going to work. You might even develop toxic mindsets towards women and then push them away, essentially, which I talked about again repeatedly. It's one of my themes on the channel. This idea that you stay scrolling and stay sending each other angry podcasters and men talking about how bad women are and talking about how they're gold diggers and you shouldn't take them on real dates and it's not worth their time and all these other things along those lines, right? That's just bad, and you're developing a mindset that's negative before you even get out in the world and actually meet with real women. It's kind of like that single friend who tells you just play hard, or don't send a text this way, send it that way. You got to wait this much time, right? This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. So you're taking advice from that, and that can ultimately hurt you, right? You have to look and sort of vet whether or not this person who's giving you advice is actually qualified to do it. Does he have a healthy, lasting relationship of his own? Probably not. The problem is most people give advice based on what they think works, not what's been proven to work. And if they're giving advice and they don't have the background, they don't have the success rate, why would you take advice from them? So now that we know who not to listen to, let's talk about how to evaluate who to actually listen to. Here's how to figure out if someone's advice is worth listening to, right? 1, look at their results. Are they in a happy, healthy relationship? Do they have what you want? If not, why would you follow their playbook? I say this all the time to people. I'm not going to take guidance from 3 or 4 guys who are basically running in circles, can't keep a relationship, are especially when they're over 30, 40 years old. I'm not even talking about my 20s and 30s. I'm talking about when you're over 30, over 40, 50 years old, and you're still out there and you can't keep real relationships. You're having a bad track record when it comes to, you got to leave the country to find women and pay for women and you got to pay for attention. That's not a group of people that I wouldn't follow their lead, and they don't have what I want. Now, I will say, in the interest of that, if your specific goal is to live the Charlie Harper, played by Charlie Sheen on 2.5 Men, if you want to play that role where you're the single bachelor, you're going to stay that way forever, you're Bill Maher, you're not going to have kids, you never want to get married, and all you want to do is be a playboy and run around with women, then yeah, if they have what you want, then go ahead and get their guidance. But I'm talking mostly to people who are trying to find somewhat decent relationships, to actually find an actual worthy woman. I'm not talking to guys who strictly are just looking to get laid. Okay, so again, if they don't have what you want, you shouldn't be taking guidance from their playbook. Look at their experience. Have they consistently succeeded with women over time? I look at guys who talk a big game. I've known people for years. None of them are doing anything exciting. None of them have any track record to really say, I've been with some incredible women. I've had some great relationships. Here they are. I haven't seen them. So it's kind of like, well, your consistency, your track record doesn't really say anything. So how the hell am I following you? You've got to do that evaluation yourself in your own life. It might even hurt some of your friends' feelings. I'm not suggesting to you that you should tell them that directly, but you should on your own be evaluating the situation. Look around and see your circle of people. What do they have? What do they offer? How good are they at the particular task you're trying to accomplish? The thing you're trying to get better at? How good are they at that? You've got to do a realistic assessment. Again, I talked about that in another video. A realistic assessment of yourself, a realistic assessment of your strengths and your weaknesses. Okay? And you have to think about this. Have any of these people in your circle actually helped other men succeed, right? Like how many of your friends have given such great guidance and great wisdom and they've actually helped another brother do something or land that woman and they have a happy marriage and children? Like, do you see that going on? If not, you need to just dead that. You also have to look at their intentions, right? The people around you, are they lifting you up? Right? Are they supporting your vision and what it is you're trying to do? Do they add to your particular energy in life and where you're trying to go when you go out, when you do go to a club? Again, if you have a group of people who are negative when it comes to women and all you're talking about and debating and arguing is about how bad women are, right? That's not a good thing. They're not lifting your energy. Are they projecting their bitterness, frustration, and failures onto you? Yes, if you have a group of people who are sitting around, again, you're sharing Instagram feeds and TikTok feeds about how bad women are, and they're not very successful, and they're still home on Friday nights with their hands. I'm sorry, you don't want to be taking information from them. You just don't. Don't take advice on building wealth from someone who's broke, right? You wouldn't do that. You don't take relationship advice from someone who can't keep a relationship. Who should you listen to? Mentors and coaches, people who have proven results dating coaches, relationship experts, therapists, men you admire, married or in long-term healthy relationships that you actually respect. If you're going to find people around you, find other people who are married, have children. If you're a guy, you're above 30, 40 years old, you're looking to have children, you're looking to have sons carrying on your name, you want to surround yourself with other men who have successfully found relationships, positive families. That's where you're going to get the best guidance, and you're going to actually, your energy is going to be aligned with theirs, and you're going to feed off their energy, and you're going to do much better for yourself. Also, positive peer groups, right? So you essentially surround yourself with men who build you up, people who challenge and inspire you, the people who tell you like, look, if you're trying to settle down, if you're trying to have children, you're trying to find that woman, you've got, like, you need to be in a circle of people who inspire you to do that, not people who are tearing women down every 2 seconds and acting like 10-year-olds. Like, you cannot do that. Research from the Journal of Social Development shows that your peer group directly influences your dating success and confidence. When you're around men who are winning, men who are comfortable with themselves, men who feel good in their looks, they dress well, they're winning in life, both financially, socially, romantically, you tend to adapt their mindset and their behaviors. So evaluate and think about who you're hanging around and who's talking in your ear. What energy is coming from these people when you decide to gather a bunch of your boys and go out for a night and you're hanging out? Are these people really, really conducive to your success? Because I got news for you. The women around you will feel the energy that surrounds you. So even if you've got semi-good intentions and you're taking some of my guidance here and you're listening to how I'm explaining how your energy affects you, the guys around you, the women are going to feel that. They're going to know that these guys have, pusses on their face, or they kind of treat women a certain way. They're going to know that, they're going to feel it, and it's going to rub off and it's going to affect you. So look, final thoughts, gentlemen. Dating, it's not just about looks or charm, all right? It's mindset, it's strategy, and that comes from qualified guidance, all right? So here's your move. You've got to audit who's giving you advice. You've got to cut the noise out from people who aren't living the life that you want, and you got to surround yourself with men who are winning, who will tell you the truth, and who will push you to improve. Trust me when I tell you that. That's the end for me, MVH Dating. Look, where are you getting your dating advice from? Let me know down below. I want to hear this. Tell me if you think I'm wrong about this. Tell me if it matters who you're hanging out with. I don't know. All right. Let me know in the comments below. Like the video on the way out. It helps the algorithm as I grow the channel. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the notification bell. There's plenty more to come. Share it with any man who needs to hear this. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.